So, dan ga ek maar my bril afhaal. Eerstens baie dankie vir hierdie aangename geleentheid daarin. Dus soos dat ek jou werke lees, is ek net altyd beïndruk met die diepte van wat jy sê. En so hierdie is vir my 'n besonderse oomblik om 'n bietjie hierdie tyd met jou te deel, en ek hoop werklik dat wat hier gesê word vir ander sal beteken, net omdat dit op 'n medium sal wees dat baie mense dit sal kan ervaar. Ek wil begin met 'n snaakse punt. Ons was gister in Worcester gewees en ons het maar Karim ontmoet en haar seun Juan. En hy noem toe ek dink dit was 'n Hennie Ferrus.
Ja, my neef.
Jou neef.
Ja.
Wat sy mentor was.
Ja.
Wat kan jy my van Hennie vertel?
Excuse me now, so. Want me to speak in English?
Yeah, let's do it in English.
Let's do it in
That's
English.
good.
Okay. Hennie was the son of my father's sister. So Hennie was my cousin. His mother didn't get married to his father, so he was an only child. And they lived with my grandmother in the family house. And he was a quite, very intelligent person. But I think I want to start off by telling you about where he got his awareness. I don't know if you've now found out that Worcester was, and still is, I think, a very politicized, politically aware little town. Polarized also, because in the early 70s and late 60s, Worcester was actually a stronghold of the conservatives, and I think in the 80s too. So Hennie's mother used to take him to ANC, not ANC, but to the Communist Party meetings.
Communist Party, okay?
Yeah, Communist Party meetings, when he was still a little boy. She probably didn't have anybody to look after him, so she took him along. That's where he got his consciousness. So what I know is that he was about 19. He was born, could have been born in either 38 or 39. Should be about 71 or 72 now. Should have been. So he was 19, and that was probably early 60s, when he had his first public speech on the parade in Cape Town. So he became an electrician. And I don't know what age it was, when he was, but they formed an organization, or they formed an underground with the young people there in Worcester. And then he was arrested. First under the 90 days, I don't know what you call it, under the Suppression of Communism Act. And they kept him for 90 days, I think, and then made it 180 days, and he came home and was then banned.
He was on Robben Island too.
Yeah, he was in Robben Island. He was banned, and then I think he broke his banning order. Not supposed to go out before 7, and after 7 he had to be back home. And I think he broke his banning order. They found him maybe somewhere outside after 7, and he was sent to Robben Island for about 4 years. And but the big thing about Hennie is that, they had constant visits from the security police, and the security police, one visit why I told you about he was an electrician, all that, it all culminates in this story, is that he injured his little finger while doing a job, and then his bosses, because Worcester's hospital wasn't big enough for him to deal with that injury, so his bosses had to take him to Cape Town for, because it was cut off. They actually had to do some procedure, and they were supposed to tell the security police that they're taking him out of the town, and they didn't. And the security police on that day decided that this is going to be the day where they're going to pay him a visit at work. And then there was nobody. And then they came straight down to where we stayed They stayed. When my grandmother was all on her own. And she also didn't know that he was injured and taken to Cape Town. So they came down and they interrogated her and they asked her where he was. He's at work, and they said, well, but he is not, and she's lying and all those kind of things. They interrogated her that she got a heart attack the evening and she died the next morning. Yeah. So that was for me, that was something that really stood out for me, growing up. And well, he was Juan's mentor, and he was obviously mine too, and others in my family. I was about 16, 17, and I told my school friends about my cousin, and on Sunday they were in the hostel in Worcester, and on Sunday mornings, and they were supposed to go to church. We came down to Hennie, and there we sat and had discussions. And played a huge part in my consciousness. Yeah, well, he died tragically. It's suspicious death, Let me tell you, that his wife is also now, she's died. And up to now, we really don't know what happened. Apparently, his best friend from Cape Town she wasn't really politically conscious. She was much, much younger than him. And so his best friend was going to come to Worcester for the Easter weekend. And your Easter weekend in Worcester is the whole country descends on the town, because there's celebrations and bazaars and all that. And so his friend was going to come, and then this is what her daughter told me, she didn't want him really to meet up with his friend. And then she went to the police to ask them if he can have permission to leave the town for the Easter weekend. They were going to go to praat. So they knew where he was. Yeah. And he died, apparently, I don't know what happened, because the car, after the accident, we couldn't find the car. The car, apparently he went through the window, but there was no scratches in his face. We looked at his body. And I know somebody said that he had a hole in the head also. But up to now, we don't know. Up to now, we don't know. His wife then very much manipulated the situation. We couldn't have any say in what we wanted, my dad or my uncle. And she was in the car with a little baby of 3 months old, and her 2 brothers and their wives with their children. And Hennie was the only one who got killed. And in 2006, she committed suicide. I don't know. There were many reasons. People said why she committed suicide. So the real truth, I think.
Oh, well,
yeah.
It's tragic.
But anyway, he was a really great guy. I don't know what he would have said about today's, what is happening today. His funeral was the first funeral where the ANC's flag was openly displayed in the Western Cape. They threw it over his coffin. Quite a great guy. We still need to tell his story and have it in the
I sense from Juan, I've not got any prior knowledge